Well, I guess we need to talk about Arrow. Of course, this was season 4, episode 6, full spoilers for Lost Souls. And here's the description as per IMDb, in their usual high quality. Felicity is frantic when she learns that Ray is alive and being held by Damien Dark. Felicity's guilt over not finding Ray sooner causes tension between her and Oliver. It's a good job I said spoilers before I read the description, because I feel like the fact that it's Damien Dark is kind of a spoiler.
Yeah, it is. That was like a reveal halfway through the episode, maybe?
Yeah. So it's a good job I gave the spoiler warning first.
Yeah.
Because I'd forgive you for thinking you were safe for the synopsis, because...
It's a synopsis, they're usually pretty safe.
Yeah, generally. So, where did we fall on this one then? Because
It was boring horse shit and the worst episode of the season by far.
That's actually harsher than that. I was going to... Because I was going to give a couple of positives.
There were some, but overall I was just bored.
I enjoy it. Let's start with the good things first. I think I enjoyed a little bit of when Felicity was mad at Oliver for various reasons. When she called him, was it Chatty Nancy? Or
Chatty Cathy?
Chatty Cathy, there you go. That was kind of amusing.
And then they were all on the line. That was alright, yeah.
And then later when they're back at HQ and Diggle's sitting between them, and he's just sort of in the middle of the argument, I thought that was kind of amusing.
My favourite moment was getting the Oliver and Diggle bromance back. Like, because they've been a bit distant for this season a bit, and, you know, they sat down, it's like, vodka's for pussies, basically. And he whips out the whiskey. And they just sit and have a bit of a
I think the correct word they used was wimps, not pussies.
You know, whatever.
I'm pretty sure CW wouldn't let them away with...
I'm maybe paraphrasing here.
Yeah, it was okay. Yeah, I certainly wasn't bothered by that scene. I thought the actual assault on base with everyone had a couple of good moments. And I always liked Ray, so, you know, Ray's cool when he pops up. However, there's a lot of things in this episode that I do not think worked. And I think the biggest one I'm going to get to at first is Sarah.
Yeah.
As the Black Canary, well, there's 2 Black Canaries. It's hard to know which one I'm talking about now. But like as soon as they were walking into that first thing, and she was
there,
and I thought that's a bit weird. Why is she already back in the team, like fighting stuff?
I thought that too.
And then Laurel said she'd be fine, and I'm like, no, she's not. She's going to do something bad. This is a bad idea. Why would they ever let her do this, right? And then, of course, she beats the shit out of a guard to a bloody pulp.
Which is boring to watch because Thea's going through the exact same thing. And we've already seen that for the last 3 or 4 episodes. Plus, we saw Roy do the exact same thing in the last season. Whenever that was.
Yeah. It's this same thing we've had multiple times now.
Oh, fuck's sake, move on.
On top of that, it happens again! They let her come the second time because she comes in and goes, I need to know if I can control this, guys. And they just sort of, Ollie just sort of gives a nod and it's like, what are you doing? This is stupid. Don't bring her with you. This is a bad idea. And what does she do? She snaps a guy's neck.
I feel like the writers just didn't know what they were doing with her. They were like, hang on, we've brought her back, and we know we've got to get rid of her for Legends of Tomorrow. So, yeah, let's just throw her in for a bit and just, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Because she wasn't there for any of the conversations other than the one conversation where she came in going, yeah, I'm coming along.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, there was that scene of her phone on her mother early on, but that was it. I mean... It really did feel like they had no idea what they were doing with her for this episode. They just needed to get rid of her. And you know what? I'd have much preferred if she just said she wanted to travel after like some thinking. She didn't need to like go through the exact same thing as Thea. Because I thought Constantine properly bringing her back meant that wasn't a problem, but apparently it is. So.
Well, no, but see, I think because the whole thing, Constantine brought back her soul, but Thea never lost her soul. It was the pit did something else as well.
No, I guess we're arguing semantics over magic bullshit. It's never really been clearly defined. I mean,
it's true.
Alright, so that's that. Arrow has always had an issue with relationship bullshit, and this one was full of it. Like, as much as I enjoyed some of the Felicity being mad at Oliver stuff, the actual origin for it just kind of felt like forced drama for forced drama's sake.
Yeah.
When Felicity like was at the dinner table and she's like giving Oliver all that shit and well, not shit, but you know what I mean. She's like, "Oh, I lost myself in you, and I need to find." I was like, "Oh, this is bullshit TV writing. No one thinks like this. No one speaks like this. No one ever says, "Oh, I lost myself in you," and that's a problem."
I don't even know how to react. I feel like that we've had this conversation in this show 12 times already in the last 50 episodes, whatever.
Yeah.
Just why is this here? What, just to fill time? Because it kind of feels like, oh, hang on, we have a 5-minute plot to get Sarah. We got a 20-minute plot for Ray, which obviously they go like, okay, we've got to do Ray for Legends tomorrow. And it's like, well, hang on, we need to fill 20 minutes. What can we do? Oh, let's have Felicity, even though she's kind of been fine for the last 5 episodes of the season. Let's just have her have problems now.
Yeah, it felt completely fabricated just so there was a plot. Because by the end of the episode, it's all solved.
Yeah.
Meaning that, all in the fact that they get Ray back and Sarah leaves, I mean, that's literally the only beats in this episode that actually matter.
Which is why I really didn't like it. Because even though I enjoy Ray, and you know, I like Ray, Brandon
I
Routh's
enjoy Ray, I
fantastic.
enjoy, I can't remember his real name, but Mr. Terrific's character.
Holt.
Yeah.
Something
Is it?
Holt.
I don't know, something.
Something Holt.
But anyway, I think he's fine. Like I actually kind of like him. He's
growing on it. Curtis.
Curtis, there you go. I like him. I like Ray. So I've generally liked the new additions to the cast, but I just they're focusing so much stuff that I just
my problem was it felt like there was too much of Ray's just getting him back. It felt like this wasn't an episode of Arrow. This was a prequel episode to Legends of Tomorrow. Just a bit too much focus on it. Like it was because we had Ray and Sarah sorting them out in the same episode, and it was just
maybe because it's in the same episode. I wouldn't really have that problem. I have no problem with them devoting an entire episode to getting him back because he was introduced in this show.
No, it's fine. But it's having them all in the same show, and the only other plot going on that I can even remember was the Felicity Oliver thing. It kind of just feels like this was just set up for Legends of Tomorrow and nothing else.
Possibly. It's a shame because this season has generally been better than season 3, which admittedly is not difficult.
Yeah, but it has been much better.
What else we got to talk about? I guess the flashbacks are something we should touch on. I think my problem with the flashbacks is that because it is only a few scenes per episode, they have to like one plot in the flashbacks takes like 8 episodes to get through.
It's drip feeding us.
And I've always had this problem with the flashbacks on this show. I really have. I've always groaned when we go back to them.
The only times that I particularly enjoy them are, you know, when we get maybe once a season, you get the episode where it's mostly flashback, and the present day is like the smaller bits. I feel like they've been hit or miss in terms of quality of the thing, but at least they push that forward like a good
Well,
job.
they did, but the problem is I was so annoyed at the flashbacks all season that when we got that, I just sort of groaned and went, oh shit, this is going to be all the stuff I don't like.
So you say that, but I think the one in season 1 was particularly great. Like, I really enjoyed that one a lot.
I don't know. No, this was not a good week for Arrow. Not by a long shot, which is a shame because it was a fantastic week for the Flash.
More relationship bollocks I'm sick of. Quentin and Lance and Felicity's mum.
Oh yeah, that was just random.
What the fuck? Please don't do any more of that. Don't show us any more of that.
Actually, speaking of that, Thea and Campaign Guy.
Oh Christ, yeah.
It
was all over this week.
Yeah, which by the way, as soon as he asked her out a date, I just groaned and went, "Oh, we don't need another relationship, please. We don't need this."
Hasn't Thea had enough of these plots already? I feel like 90% of her plots have been like that. We had the DJ.
Yeah, a DJ, yeah. Do you know the worst part about it is, it wouldn't bother me so much if it wasn't for the fact that she literally changes her mind for the last scene when she meets him again and says, "Oh, let's go and get those drinks, right?" There's no arc in between. There's barely a scene.
There's one scene with Oliver where he's like, I think it was Oliver anyway, who's like, "Oh, you should probably do it." Was Oliver? Someone spoke to her about it.
Did they?
Unless I've just imagined this to make it seem better in my head. I'm sure someone spoke to her about it and was like, "Yeah, you should probably just go on a date if you want to go on a date."
I don't think I ever wasn't paying attention. I don't remember a scene where she talked about it to anyone. Never mind them encouraging her to do it.
Maybe I've just like made this in my head to make it feel better.
Like, we don't care enough to go back and find out. So if you're watching on YouTube, let us know in the comments. If you're listening to audio podcast, email us at mailfuzz@gmail.com and let us know if there was a scene.
I'm happy to be proven wrong in this case.
Yeah. If there was a scene.
Because that would make the episode even worse. So,
Like, but nah, as far as I can remember, there was no scene in the middle
It wasn't a particularly memorable episode.
that had anything to do with that. It was just a scene at the start. He asks her out and she says no because life is too complicated, blah, blah, blah. All the stuff goes on. The only time you really see Thea during the episode is when she's like around with the red hood on, like helping during fight scenes. And she's oddly absent from the last fight scene, by the way. See, when they're doing the assault, like she's there when they all say like ready, like I'm ready, blah blah blah. But I don't remember seeing her like actually in the fights or anything like that. For the rest of it, which was I thought was weird.
I can't picture her there.
It's odd. Maybe it was just her part of the scene get cut.
Yeah,
for whatever reason.
I also thought there was some weird editing in this episode though, like particularly weird and jarring. For example, after Lance meets Dark and Diggle like he goes in the van and he just like revs up and then it cuts away really awkwardly.
Actually, I've got another question. Maybe there was a reason for this, but I'm really not understanding why. Why couldn't they just pick up the box Ray was in and take him elsewhere and do their stuff? Why did they have to do it on site where he was?
Obviously smashed through it when he came up, so it wasn't like a heavy box.
Yeah. Like, why wasn't that the plan? That he's small, he's portable. You can move him.
I feel like this should have been the obvious thing in him, but I never even noticed.
Like,
I'm going to assume that the only reason is that they didn't think of it like me, and they've got it, but...
Because they get in the room with him and they're talking to him and they're like setting up this big gun thing and... Oh, we had to bring, Mr. Terrific Guy on site.
It's got some sort of security, because they had to do it through the power feed?
Yeah, they didn't know that going in.
No.
But,
were they just assuming it was a glass box?
But they made the whole point of saying, oh, we have to bring Mr. Terrific because he needs to be able to do his thing with the gun and all that. And all I could think when they got there was, why couldn't they just pick him up and take him back to...
That's a very good...
Just take him back to Pamertech and do it there.
See, I thought I was really down on this episode. And now you speak about it, I feel like it's even worse than I thought.
We didn't even talk about what was in the flashbacks. We just complained about the flashbacks in general. But yeah.
It was just he shone the magic light ball over some things and was like, "Yeah, this is it." And then they went to a lake and he killed the guy. There you go.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. All right, that's us then. That's this week's episode of Arrow. Balls.